Hello, Eagles Nation. Vincent Focht here, and welcome to the fifth off-season Eagles chat of the season. And folks, I'm not even going to waste any time with doing a long intro. We're going to get right into it because we have some breaking news. As of an hour ago from when this Eagles chat is being recorded, the Eagles have officially picked up former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, Mr. Kenny Pickett. And folks, in my opinion, this is a clutch pickup, and I'm about to describe why. Now, I understand the previous seasons with the Pittsburgh Steelers, it wasn't exactly the greatest in terms of developing for Mr. Kenny Pickett, but seeing on Kenny Pickett's age, and he is not that old, by the way, and seeing the type of coaching staff that the Birds have, I really think they can help develop him into being a pretty decent and good backup quarterback. Now, obviously, like I said, he's being brought in here to be a backup quarterback to Jalen Hurts, and it never really hurts to have a decent, good backup quarterback. And I mean, especially, if something was to happen to Jalen Hurts, if he would be out for a substantial amount of time, or say he would be out for 1 or 2 weeks, it never hurts to have a guy you can trust to help carry this team if necessary, especially if they're on their way to a playoff push. And looking back in the Eagles' history, we really haven't had a decently good backup quarterback in a little while, since probably Nick Foles, by the way. And just looking at the guys we've had in the past years, being obviously last year Marcus Mariota, which wasn't really that great, and then even Gardner Minshew, which the games he played for the Eagles weren't exactly the greatest. I mean, right here with Pickett, I really think the Eagles coaching staff and even the players that are around him that are already here, I really think they can help develop him into being something decently good. And like I said, for whatever reason, if Hurts is out for a substantial amount of time during the season for whatever reason, hopefully it doesn't happen, but you always have to be ready for a scenario like that. It would not hurt to have a guy who you can trust, like I said, carry this team if necessary. And I really think Kenny Pickett, they can develop him. I think he 100% has the talent to be something pretty great. So that, in my opinion, is a pretty clutch pickup for the Birds. But now moving on to something that really surprised me when I saw it this morning, and to see that the Eagles are officially reconstructing Josh Sweat's contract. Now, folks, that 100% surprised me. I even said in my previous Eagles chat that I would not be surprised if Josh Sweat was to be traded in any day now. But seeing this, especially when I woke up this morning, it started off as being a rumor and then eventually went to being official. And when I saw that, I really was surprised, and I'm so happy that he is staying. He is one heck of a defensive end for the Birds, and especially with the guys the Eagles have been bringing in so far this offseason, I think he's going to work very well with these new guys that have came into the Birds this year, and I can't wait to see another season of Josh Sweat making the opposing team's quarterback shiver in his cleats. He will be here for at least one more season, is what was said. So main thing is I'm very happy to see Josh Sweat coming back for the Birds. But speaking of clutch players, right here is something that a lot of people have been talking about recently and happened yesterday. The Eagles officially picked up Devin White for a 1-year deal. This is, absolutely blew me away. I'm so happy to see Howie Roseman, that front office, focusing on especially the linebacker section of the defense. And last year, that part of the defense was really hurting, and especially last offseason when the Eagles lost guys like Kaiser White and T.J. Edwards, it really placed a big hole in that Eagles defense, and it really showed this year. Now, obviously, you had guys like Shaquille Leonard and Zach Cunningham in there, but really, it wasn't at the same level that they were at in the 2022 season when they made that Super Bowl run, and it really showed this past season, especially in the second half of the season and even during the playoff run. And obviously, the Eagles were supposed to have Nakobe Dean. He was supposed to be a big piece of the defense, especially in the linebacker section, but the only unfortunate thing was he was injured for the majority of the season. So that hurt them, and then in general with their linebacker situation, it wasn't really focused on too much during last offseason, and it really hurt them. Like I said, when they lost Kaiser White, T.J. Edwards, that hurt them big time. So I'm very happy to see them pick up Devin White. Yes, he didn't have the greatest year last year in Tampa Bay, but seeing the guys that he'll be around this year, and especially the new guys that the Eagles have been bringing in, I think he has the opportunity to have a great year, and especially with the Eagles' new defensive coordinator being Vic Fangio, and how Vic Fangio runs his defenses, I really think White will fit in perfectly with this defense. That's what I'm predicting. I really hope I'm not wrong, but as of seeing how Vic Fangio runs his defense and how Devin White plays and how he likes to play, I think he will fit in very well with this defense, and I'm looking forward to, seeing this defense hopefully back at the level it was in the 2022 season, obviously when they made that Super Bowl run. But we're still not done with the defense, and this is a couple days old, but I still got to mention it. It's glad to see C.J. Gardner-Johnson back in the house. He had a break from playing Eagles football last year with the Detroit Lions, obviously. Almost made it to the Super Bowl last year, but unfortunately the Detroit Lions fell up short in the NFC Championship game. But glad to see C.J. Gardner-Johnson back with the Birds. Yes, he did obviously apologize. It was all over social media. He apologized for what he said about Eagles fans last season. And hey, I accept the apology. I'm glad to see him back, and hopefully he can help the Eagles get the job done this year. I think the Eagles have a great group of guys, and a lot of the new guys that they've been bringing in, I really think they are going to mesh very well together, both on defense and offense. So this is definitely great news to see. He is a big piece of the defense, and definitely they were missing him 100% last year. He was a big piece that they were missing last year, so great to see him back in the green and black. But that's all I really got to say so far. I only got one more thing. I really wanted to talk about this. Now, the reason I really want to talk about this is it was just something that was brought up. Now, it wasn't 100% proven. Obviously, Howie Roseman was asked about it, and he said he didn't do it. And obviously, the same goes with Barkley as well. He was asked about it, and basically what happened was they were talking about Howie Roseman going behind the NFL's back and speaking with Saquon Barkley directly. And obviously, Saquon Barkley was asked about it. He denied it happened, and Howie Roseman was asked about it as well. And he also denied that there was no direct talking behind the NFL's back. Now, there was talking between Howie Roseman and Saquon Barkley's agent, but that is allowed to happen as long as it's not directly between a team GM and a team or the player. So right now, that is, as long as that didn't happen, it should be okay. And what I'm seeing, I don't really quite see enough evidence to see that it can be, ruled that it 100% happened, or if it's 100% true facts. Now, we'll see what happens in the upcoming days if any other investigations happen. But as of right now, it doesn't look like that was a true event that happened. It doesn't look like it did happen. And again, this is just an accusation. This is just something that someone said. So obviously, it has to be taken serious when something like this happens. But just looking at all the information that came out, doing my research, I don't really see enough information to say that this is real. And of course, if any news comes out about that in the future and these upcoming days, 100% we will let you guys know. You can find any updates on our Instagram. You can find our Instagram in the description of this Eagles Chat video. But that's all I really got to say for this fifth offseason Eagles Chat this season. We've been posting Eagles Chats like crazy. News has been coming out like crazy. And we'll see what happens in these upcoming days. If any more clutch maneuvers happen in the Eagles offseason. And right around the corner, it doesn't end because the NFL draft will be here before you know it. I sound like a broken record. Been saying that on every Eagles Chat, but we'll make sure to cover everything for you. Then make sure you guys do not miss a beat on your Birds. But that's all I really got to say in this Eagles Chat. And as I always say, go Birds!